Hi, everybody. This is Matt from Shadow Moses 112. Can you even hear me with that thing on?
Yeah, I can. I definitely can.
I was kind of yelling a little bit, and it was really loud in there. This is Matt from Shadow Moses 112. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you guys had a safe holiday break. If you had a break or if you're still on break, good for you. I'm jealous. Work did not welcome. I didn't work. I didn't want to go back to work, as I said last Sunday. I was, so I didn't on Monday because it was the New Year's. But anyway, Matt here from Shadow Moses 112, here with Pete.
Hi, guys. Pete, ShadowMoses112.com.
Oh, my God. I did a George Washington yesterday where I went out in the rain, and apparently I'm getting sick or something like that. But I won't have all my blood drained from my body because that's what killed George Washington. He also sat and ate dinner in his wet coat and got pneumonia from it. But anyway, yeah, hopefully everybody had a good break. Hopefully they got some cool stuff over the holidays and they had a good, safe New Year's. Hopefully you got some, what do you make?
Happiness?
No,
Babies?
New Year's resolutions.
Oh, yeah, those things.
Yeah, hopefully you guys have some good resolutions that you're already underway on and you don't cave on them. I don't know how long this episode's gonna go because I'm dying a little bit. My chest is killing me. Um, just wanted to talk about some things quickly. I know that Pete has some updates on a project we've been talking about over the past few weeks. I also have some things that I wanted to talk about on some different sites. One was Big Bad Toy Store, but also on VC Toy Box and then 5K Toys. Anything cool you got lately over the break or?
I got, I did get some cool stuff. Actually, I got the Junkyard and Mutt pack. I already
Oh,
opened
nice.
most of it. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't send you the figure?
Yeah. I've already been messing with it.
Mine's I shipped my pile of loot. It hasn't shipped yet, but it should be it's still processing. I know that they're swamped still. Because they like websites still have all crazy kind of sales going on.
I got a lot of stuff sitting in my cart that I'm not too happy about. But I did get
In your cart.
FOMO and got Steel in.
Nice. He's a pretty cool figure. I grabbed him a while ago. He's pretty cool looking.
Which brings me to my next FOMO purchase. I have Cyborg Superman from Big Bad Toy Store in my cart.
He's also a good figure. He's also a cool figure.
And I pre-ordered the Eradicator already.
I didn't get that one. I don't feel any particular FOMO for that.
Well, I have a feeling that after the Superboy is released, they're gonna blow my mind. They're gonna drop a Doomsday. Mark my words. They're gonna drop a Doomsday, and they're gonna drop a battle damaged Superman.
Oh, Doomsday would be cool. We're due for a new Doomsday. Yeah. I have the Storm Collectibles one.
And I modified my Storm Collectibles one to be like my end-all, be-all Doomsday. So I'm pretty happy with my Doomsday, but okay. I would not mind a more accurate, smaller, little pissed-off Doomsday.
The only Doomsdays I have are the Storm Collectibles and the Prime 1 3-foot statue of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, but it's in storage because it's so damn big. It weighs 100 pounds. Recently, I've been replaying Gears of War on like the hardest difficulty. I'm up to Gears 4 now, and it's kind of kicking in my nostalgia for like games I played in college, and I've been picking up Halo helmets off eBay. So this is the first wave that I got. I have 3 more that are en route. They're like it was $10 and $10 shipping. Plus, they're pretty cool little things. I got my G.I. Joe Shadow Tracker in today. It's a cool figure at first glance, although I immediately noticed like he has this cloak type thing around his waist that is already going to hinder his movement a bit. God, I have so much stuff in this area. I have another computer over here. It's just so much clutter. God damn. You want to talk? I can't hear you.
I was gonna say that I have about 180 stuff, $100 of stuff with my cart right now. Because I started playing The Last of Us, so of course, like now I need to go all in because that's the kind of person I am. Like,
wait, what are you getting from The Last of Us though?
So a bunch of clickers. There's 2 male ones available and 3 female ones that I'm looking at.
Which studio?
I believe Patriot is doing the male version, and the female version, I can pull that up right
now. For the Lim Toys ones, from what I've heard.
Well, the 3-pack is a damaged box set, so
I mean, if it's cheap enough, then go for it. But I'm just letting you know, I've heard not great things about that 3-pack set.
The 3 Fate of the Zombies one?
Yeah.
And then I got the Hasuki 112 Black Ops.
Yes. So that's actually one of the things that I wanted to bring up. I pre-ordered the one on Big Bad Toy Store. Let me pull up this window. Oh, damn it. I don't want to do that. Oh. Yeah, this is it. So we haven't talked about these on the stream yet, have we?
No, we have not.
So we have a Juggernaut. Basically, it's a Juggernaut from like Call of Duty. Stop. Decide what you want to do, you prick.
There are heavy shield agents in a little game called Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain.
Oh, are there?
That's the first thing I saw. You know me, super biased when it comes to Metal Gear.
Yeah, I mean Shadow Moses.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Yeah,
The Island.
So I saw these on Big Bad Toy Store first, and I pre-ordered one from them, and then I missed out on the other one, so I pre-ordered it I think from 5K. But it's just a really cool looking release. The figure itself, it's a 1/12 scale. I'm not familiar with this studio at all. All the other ones look like equivalent to Little Armory type figures, like the animated, like almost like Catholic girl type figure with a gun. But I did order this. I think it has some pretty cool accessories. The shield is a cool piece of equipment. And then we get an LMG and then just an assault rifle. But just honestly, just this figure, the body itself is something really unique, and it's going to be a nice addition to a collection. I hope that the figure like has the level of quality. I hope it's at least Lim Toys. I'd be happy with that because it's not like this is the pre-order price. If you look down here, it's the balance of 90, so it's like $120 figure. If you want to correct me, that's 110 if you do math. Yeah. But it's a good price for the figure. I think I'm going to take the risk on it. Hasuki also has VC Toy Box and also 5K. They have so many third-party items. They also do like maniple head sculpts. I know that's a big ask for people.
Just to help my friends that forget all their pre-orders, we still haven't gotten our Godfather figures yet. So what's going on with that?
Well, I mean, yeah. So this is the other type of figure Hasuki does. It's normally not pocket art witch. It's normally like a girl in Catholic school getup. And then this is the other one, and I'm curious to see how this looks next to the Hunk figure. I thought this was another cool Black Ops squad type figure to have, so I pre-ordered this. I think on 5K.
Yeah, I think I passed on these specifically because I already have the Bravo Brothers original Hunk release. I have 2 of those. I got 2 of the Dragon Force soldiers that we did the boot extensions for. I got the Skull Commander, which is also a form of Black Ops. And then we got the 2 new Hunks in. So I got about 7 Black Ops looking guys right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think you're equipped.
I'm waiting for more Red Ninjas. 6-inch plus does more Red Ninjas. I'll jump on that.
What Red Ninjas do you mean?
It was I think last year 6-inch plus did the ninja line, which came with a black, white, or red ninja. And
with I picked up goods?
With soft goods, yeah. And I picked up one red, one white. I think I should have went all in on the reds because they were awesome, and I think they would look great in photography.
Okay, yeah. I have one or two. I might have three of the V-Toys ninjas, Shadow Assassins, I think they were called. I know I have one that's red. I might have two red and then one white, but I know that I have like three of them.
V-Toys. I think it was a collab between V-Toys 6-inch Plus, actually.
Oh, okay. Then we might be talking about the same thing.
Yes, sir. I think we are actually.
They were in Big Bad Toy Store. Yeah, when I saw them, do you want to pull it up?
I got Amazon open. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here they are. They're on sale still. And for those who aren't familiar with V-Toys, it's a good quality. That's a good quality third-party figure. I know their generic buck was kind of large. It's more of like a Hasbro kind of scale, but it has really good articulation. It came with just like a dummy head, with like just a bland generic male head. But these figures are also really good. The joints feel really tight in them. They come with these different accessories, and right now the white and red versions are both on sale. So they come with different. I don't remember that.
I think other than color, there's nothing that really differentiates.
Yeah, there's the same. And that's probably preferable, honestly. The other website that I mentioned was 5K Toys. Again, they just have they just carry a lot of third party and actually mainline stuff too. I know that I'm pretty sure I've seen Mezco on their website before. They do pre-orders and then they carry stuff that's in stock as well. And I used them for a few purchases at least. So like they're definitely a site that you can trust. They're reputable. This is actually the other Hasuki figure I was talking about.
Yeah, that Cyberpunk one that you're on right now, just below it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you were talking about this the other day.
Yeah. I think she's versatile, man. If you go down a couple pictures, she looks like a stripped down Black Widow. She's like in the tank top and there it is.
Okay, cool. I was just wondering what kind of torso and what kind of buck it was.
Yeah. Very plain Jane. I like it. Very versatile figure.
Yeah.
She looks like she could either be your guy in the chair or she could be your sniper assist or something like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. At least that's what I see when I first see her.
Yeah.
Plus, I love the kicks.
The what?
The shoes that she's got on. I love
the kicks. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty cool looking figure, actually. I can see why you're saying it's more of like a sidekick because it doesn't really stand out too much to really be like a protagonist character. You could probably do that if you wanted to, but yeah, and what studio is that? This is Tricky Baby? No.
Very cool. 112.
Cool. Yeah. There's so many different studios out there, man. Some I'm not sure about, and then other ones I've heard of and I recognize. Like these guys, this Axie Toys, they're on Big Bad Toy Store. And part of me, for some reason, associates being on something like Big Bad Toy Store with immediately being like reputable brand and everything like that, but it's not necessarily the case. It's just they're more successful than other ones. Actually, I just ordered this the other day. I ordered this and then I think a little black bag. I ordered this storage bag the other day because I kind of want to mess around with some customizations or kit bashes at some point in the future. And I think that this jacket, it looks kind of like it could be for Joel or maybe Leon.
It's like an Arthur.
What?
Arthur? I don't know if you played.
No.
Yeah, boy.
I can't stand Red Dead Redemption.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't even finish Red Dead Redemption. Like, I thought I was done with Mexico, and then, like, then I have to start doing missions for the other faction. I'm like, God damn it, man. Like, it was fun, and then I got down there, and I'm like, this is interminable. Even the last time I was playing it, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. They just drag on. And then last thing I wanted to show was this bad boy. I don't know why I haven't sent this to you yet. Did you see this guy?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you would be like, or if you would think it was pretty cool, because I know you're huge into samurai stuff after playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. Used to play Onimusha when I was young.
Oh God, I would love an Onimusha remake.
I think he's missing something though.
What?
I think he's missing an opposable tail, man. I think they kind of
a tail.
Like he is fantastic looking, but he's missing a tail.
I don't think he needs a tail.
I think he could have been a very versatile, like Satan devil kind of figure, and he needs a tail, man.
He doesn't. Okay, that's what's missing on the figure for you is a tail.
I mean, he looks fantastic at this price point. Is just I don't know. Just don't know.
He makes me think of like South Park's Satan, but like
hey guy
with like a Oni kind of feeling on him. But yeah, I think that's all I had to go over for like different figures. I know that I saw some upcoming releases on Praeternia on Instagram because I follow them, and they're usually good about letting you know about sales and everything, all that good stuff.
I know the Angel pre-order went up for Marvel Legends, the Archangel.
Yes, yep, it did. I meant to ask my friend about that because Angel was one of his favorite X-Men.
I'll be honest, man. I think I'm too young for the red costume, man. I remember the blue costume. I remember the Angel of Death costume when he was part of the Four Horsemen, but the red one, we're drawing a little blank there, man. I feel bad. Usually I'm on top of my shit, but
I thought it was so funny that they used Ben Foster as Angel in X-Men United, and then he was like wasted entirely.
Yeah.
Like,
where's Ben Foster anyway? Tell him to give me a call when he gets a chance, man. He hasn't really done anything recently.
I know, man. Did you ever see 310 of Yuma?
Yeah, fantastic movie.
He's so good in that. I mean, that is a great movie. I love that movie. Well, like Ben Foster is a lot of fun. He's a good actor. I also saw, speaking of good actors, the movie Argyle is going to be trash, but there are talks about bringing Sam Rockwell back for Armor Wars.
Yeah. It's an old rumor.
Yeah, I figured that's been out there for a while, but I still wanted to mention it because I saw it earlier and it brought it back to my mind. Echo comes out on Wednesday, and all 9 episodes will be up at once. So I've seen release footage of a fight scene where she's fighting Daredevil.
Yeah.
Which we kind of expected to happen because she does kind of work for Fisk, and it looked. Did you see that by chance?
I did see it actually. Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but what I did see was probably like a minute or two, and I was pretty pleased with that because it felt like they were trying to replicate that film style from like the fight scenes of Daredevil, where it's long takes. We have a lot of motion in the backdrop and the scenery and the environment that they're in. So I'm really excited about it. I really do hope that it is that more mature series. I wish that Secret Invasion had been that more mature series because I think that show had some potential. And then the Super Scroll thing just kind of, for me, because until then,
the rumor about that Echo fight scene is that that's their way of tying in the initial Netflix run of Daredevil. If you look at that scene and pay attention to the outfit he's wearing the original Netflix red costume, and they're using that scene to kind of juxtapose her back into that era to make it fit.
Okay, interesting.
And the other rumor is that they're planning on making Kingpin the Thanos
That makes sense though. That actually, because then you can bring back, then you really empower a lot more vigilante, like street level heroes. Like you can bring back Jessica Jones. You can introduce Iron Fist and Luke Cage. I would love to see them bring back Michael Coulter. I don't think he would do it.
Finn Jones.
What?
How about Finn Jones? You're not bringing back Finn Jones?
Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they did him. I think that most of what went wrong with him was the writing.
Yeah. I read some other stuff that he didn't really want to participate in the training, but I don't know how much that of it is gossip. If that's the case, if he's hard to work with on a show about fighting, then
yeah,
you got to go, bro.
I thought his fight scenes were pretty well done, actually. I didn't finish watching the second season. I got to the part where his friend was there. You know, the Iron Fist equivalent of
Davos.
What?
Davos, the purple Iron
Fist. But he's basically the Iron Fist's equivalent of Doctor Strange's
Mordo.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of it. I knew it was with an M.
I got you, boo. I know what you said. I got you.
But I kind of hold them in parallel mentally. But I would be cool to see some Iron Fist and Power Man. Especially we got like Power Man. Like it would be hard to do that without basically doing what Netflix did. I feel like I could do without like the Method Man cameos for like Bulletproof Love and ever. Like, do you remember that? The one in the first season, Method Man writes a song about him called Bulletproof Love, and like they're on with that DJ. I can't think of his name.
I remember Raphael Sadiq being in the show. Tony Raphael Sadiq.
Method Man does a rap in it, and I don't know. I think that what hurt the first season had a lot of issues because they killed off Cottonmouth.
Killed off Cottonmouth. What are you doing? He was the best part of the show, but now he's Blade. So I mean, how do you feel about that?
We'll see what happens when Blade comes into existence.
Yeah,
Mahershala is a really good actor. And I think he would be an awesome Blade. But
I think so too, yeah.
It's just they're kind of like with Ant-Man, there's just a lot of issues finding people to be involved in the project. I think that they've already lost one or two directors who are just like pooping their pants over it and just dumb. But again, honestly, part of me is okay with it taking longer because I don't want it to feel like another like PG-13 action comedy movie. Like Blade is not intended to be that. It's intended to be more mature. It could still be PG-13 because like the creator I loved, and that's a PG-13 movie, and it's very serious. There are heavy elements in it. Like a movie doesn't have to be rated R for it to be good. I like a movie to be rated R, but it's not like that's a fundamental necessity for a movie to be enjoyable. If the movie's Deadpool, yeah, it should be rated R because it's intended to have the gratuitous violence, all the nonsense shit he talks, and then just stupid perverted humor and everything. Because like Deadpool is just a weird mix. But like, hopefully Deadpool will serve as a nice litmus test for more mature Marvel movies, because once we see how that does, I think a lot of people are expecting Blade to be more true to like the original Wesley Snipes movie.
Yeah. Well, I also know that Marvel is moving towards not a separate studio, but a different naming convention for the darker movies under the Marvel Spotlight brand to, I guess, produce Echo and more of your adult themed rated R kind of things. So I'm interested to see what they do with Punisher. There's a lot of rumors that the original Defenders cast is coming back. I don't know if that includes Finn Jones, but I've heard Mike Coulter's coming back. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we also, I mean, that's the other reason that Fisk is so important, is because with Punisher coming back, we're getting closer to having like, it's going to be different, and whatever. But like your Marvel Knights, we're getting closer to having those. I mean, Wolverine's being introduced, and I know that they had a rotating cast, but like Punisher and Moon Knight and Ghost Rider.
I was gonna say like the Midnight Suns, like all those guys.
Yeah. But
which brings me, I'm actually working on a very simple Ghost Rider custom, and if it works out, I will let the community know what I did. Most of the clothes are from GPS Lot. The body, I believe, is an old Slimline V Toys, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm trying to see if I can model a Robbie Reyes head down the line. Because the body is versatile enough where you could take it off and probably do a Johnny Blaze or a Robbie Reyes. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
I'm not promising anything yet.
I haven't opened my Mezco Ghost Rider yet. I just realized that. I think I was moving when I got it, so I went right to storage.
So that's a big price point for me. So I was like, I like Ghost Rider a lot. I don't love him like that though.
That was also one of those projects where like we can charge more for this.
Yeah, of course.
Waiting for my Vex to ship, waiting for Doom to ship.
I've gotten the email for Doom from Big Bad because I didn't jump on it from Mezco. So I'm waiting for that little scary price tag too.
Yeah.
To be honest, lately though, I've been having a lot of fun with the old Miles Sentinel.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I know you love that figure.
Yeah, it was cool,
man.
Yeah,
you've been posting pictures of all sorts of stuff with him.
Yeah, well, because the neck peg originally on this figure, if you recall, it was super short. So our store did a modified net peg, and those didn't work out. I know you guys probably seen videos on this and keep on talking about it, but just a closer look, like this peg is holding up super well. I must have taken off this head 100 times since I posted that video. I'm excited to see what other applications I do. I was talking to some community members, and they were talking about how the Mafex elbow joints are a bit of a problem, especially with the ratcheting system. So I'm going to try to see if I can recreate that in the resin and see if it holds up well.
What are they saying about
them? Because it uses rivets and it tends to stick and break easily, at least from the perspective of the person I was talking to.
Okay. I mean, I'm not doubting it because, I mean, anything that moves like this, eventually it's going to have wear and tear. So I don't doubt that people have experienced problems with it.
But this thing is getting me excited, man. In the sense of like, I know we've all had the common QC issues of like Wolverine's arm falling off for the Mafex. I recently got in the Figuarts Vader, which I liked a lot, but I didn't like the fact that you can't turn the head a lot. I know it's a minor complaint, but I was like, man, what if I just made a new neck peg with like 1 millimeter more in that spacing, and then you could fully articulate the neck at that point. Yeah, you might have like this tiny gap, but I think it'll negate itself over time.
And that's with the Resi one?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I said, man, I've been testing this one out. I've purposely been keeping this figure out to play with just to
just to keep that wear and tear up.
Exactly. And the cool thing is we added a bend in it where the original was a straight barbell, so he could actually look straight out, and you can get those like really good leaping poses with little problem. Very cool stuff. And I really like it's like I said, it's more because I've been working with this figure so much lately that I have an appreciation for how they approached it. They didn't do like your typical joints; they did more of like plug pegs.
Yeah, I like almost like Figma used to do.
Yeah, it's like they really knew that they were dealing with this small, fragile body, and they were trying to avoid ways of like a lot of peg breakage and stuff because they knew that'd be coming. But this figure, man, like the knees are still tight. And what is this, like a 2-year-old figure now?
Sentinel does good work. a lot of their stuff is more stylized than I would be really keen to pick up. That's really why I haven't. I think I have a few things from them. I can't remember.
The other thing is, I think I picked up this outfit off of 5K. Now that we were talking about it.
Okay.
Because GPS Lot didn't make one that fit that great, so I didn't end up using it.
Gotcha.
Because this figure came with like swappable legs and swappable upper torso to include the jacket and shorts. I felt like that was going too far. What else, man? There's just to give some appreciation to this figure. I noticed that the shoulder pops out pretty easily on mine. I don't know if that's a common figure. I'm not too mad at it though, because it's like if you're trying to get those big bends out, it just pops out. And I would rather that than breakage. So I'm fine with it as long as I can snap it back in place and it's still usable.
It's like an actual like issue that you're able to take advantage of.
Sort of. It's like it feels like a safety feature. Like instead of you like pushing the limits of breaking it, like I can get his arms back.
Well, what I was going to ask is if it was almost like a Revoltech type of engineering strategy where it's something weird, like you can do like this weird motion with it and then lock it back into place.
Yeah.
Like, if you can Mel Gibson the figure.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way actually. Yeah, it feels like a safety precaution that they put in place for it. This is really cool, man. I really recommend this figure.
Gotcha.
And of course, you guys have been seeing the pictures. I've been going back messing with Joel a lot lately. Yeah, these figures are super well done as well. Like just the tailoring on the clothes, the level of like detail on it.
I'm glad you enjoy them so much.
It's funny because I wasn't into the game, but getting the figures, buying the first Last of Us, starting to play that up, it's like getting me more interested into the lore of it.
And part one is so good. It's so good.
Yeah. It's just these kids, man. I can't try to make time to play, you know? It's getting hard.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The black lung pop.
Yeah. I was at Target the other day just kind of seeing if they had anything, and places are slowly restocking. I thought I tweeted about it, but like I was looking just around, like shit is so expensive anymore, man. Like, I was looking at Lego sets and there was a Batmobile. It has 54 pieces in it. It's like $37.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Was that 75 cents, 80 cents a Lego?
I was so pissed when I saw it. I thought I tweeted. I couldn't find the tweet though. I legit thought that I tweeted at, oh, here we go.
Did you get to finish Marvel's What If, the Disney What If?
It's $27 and it's 54 pieces.
That's not bad. I mean, I don't know. To me, you're getting a full car out of it. How big is the car?
No, this is the 4+ wave. It's not like the full car. It's meant for 4-year-olds and up. So I guess technically it's for you. But no, that's not right. Or this 4+ Hulkbuster versus Thanos is $27. Or this stupid little ship for Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy is $38. What?
Why does it gotta be a ship, man? Why are you such a raccoon hater, bro?
It's not even 300 pieces and it's $38. Like that's. Meanwhile, the Avengers Tower is 5,000 pieces and it's $500.
That's ridiculous. Man, that is ridiculous.
I still want that. I feel like, honestly, the higher end stuff is like probably a bit overpriced, but it's more reasonably priced than these stupid little fucking things. I don't know.
Yeah. So angry. Just
I am. I'm tired of shit being so expensive.
Well,
because it can be.
At least you're not gatekeeping like half the community out there. Jesus.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything to throw, so.
Can't even ask questions without Ghostbusters without getting gangbanged on. Like, what the hell's going on here, man?
Yeah, I know. My friend did that. No, Dan, you did it to me the other day. I'm kidding though. I sent him a picture of Big Bad Toy Store as like the Ghostbusters stuff, and he's like, spoilers if you scroll down. And I like already had scrolled at that point. So I'm like, and I was like, are you talking about Carrie in the outfit? He's like, no, they show that in the trailer. I'm talking about the pop figure down there. I'm like, oh, I didn't remember seeing. I only watched the trailer like twice. I don't remember seeing anything specific in it. And I know that they show like an outline of the main villain, but like they don't show it in detail. And on Big Bad Toy Store, you could see like the full pop figure of what it looks like and its name and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm not really worried about that. I mean, I know that it's going to be something new, which is cool. I like that they're bringing something brand new. I thought that Zool coming back for Afterlife was a nice touch, but I'm glad that they're moving on to something else.
Yeah.
So
I think it's fair that you guys let us casuals enjoy the content that is out there and let us try to ask questions and get introduced to it instead of gatekeeping. Come off like an asshole. Stop it.
Yeah,
anyway. No, not Dan. Dan, the first time I met Dan was like getting like choked up on Ghostbusters. He's like, man, I really love Ghostbusters. I was like, man, that's cool, man.
It wasn't quite like that, dude.
Nah, to me, it came off that way. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I know he was talking about it. He was going on a little bit. He was like, sorry, I'm a big fan. I like the girl one too, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, cool, man.
That's because you met Dan after we watched Infinity War.
Yeah.
He was choked up from that. It's like he gets sucked into all that and everything like that.
Man.
And then like in Endgame when Iron Man died, spoiler alert. In Endgame, like I had a coworker who said she cried for 45 minutes after that. I'm like, fucking why?
But some people are more emotional than us, man. Like,
I'm emotional, but not about like Iron Man saying I am Iron Man.
Like when I saw Wakanda Forever, man, when they did that opening sequence with Chadwick Boseman's.
Oh no, that was a good opening sequence to a really bad movie. Man. But no, I got choked up on that. I won't lie. During the creator, I got choked up a lot.
Well, man, it's a really bad movie. It wasn't that bad. There was the third act, and I think Marvel has a big problem with their third acts lately. It's just they just shit the bed, man.
No, it was a bad movie. I fucking didn't like that movie at all.
I thought Namor was a great villain.
Namor was awesome, but Letitia Wright didn't seem to be in the mode to act at all. Either that or they just gave her the worst notes to play that like a morning Shuri.
But they bounced off of Denai Guerrera and Angelica Houston. Or
wait, what happened?
She got to bounce off those other names, those big actresses, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. And then Ironheart, I do feel bad for like Marvel Studios production teams, not Marvel Studios, the people involved in making them, the writers, the animators, and everything, because the special effects in that movie sucked. When Ironheart's flying over the ocean and everything like that, it looks fake as hell. That's what happens when you give people 2 fucking weeks to do billion-dollar special effects.
Yeah,
like people with Blender have made things look better, but that's because they took 6 months to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not a lot, but I saw people comparing like the more recent Marvel movies, and then they were like saying like this was Pacific Rim back in 2012.
Right?
And like, yeah, you're not wrong, but Pacific Rim, they took years to do that. And then these more recent ones are like, no, punch it out. It's like we're basically NoFX, the Marvel studio. We just put out fucking albums every 6 months.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be against Marvel taking like the George Lucas approach and kind of like redoing certain parts of the movie and just kind of re-releasing it as like the Ultimate Edition.
No, I think that's dumb.
Like that Spider-Man 8 years later flub. Like little things like that. When they did the Spider-Man movie, the very first one, they put an 8 years later tag and like the time didn't match up. Like it should have been 6 years instead, but it would have made Spider-Man too young. So they kind of just swept that under the rug and just kept it moving.
People get way too caught up on shit like that. It's not like his character sat down and did the math so he could tell off damage control to their face. No, 8 years, 8.7632 years. It's not like he sat there. He could have just been like, I don't know, fucking 8 years ago this shit happened. Like,
but it's a $1 billion franchise. You should be taking the time to fucking curate this shit.
But he's not a fucking part of a $1 billion franchise. He's a fucking guy there to clean up corpses from New York City. He's not thinking about the hard logistics of all this shit.
No. There was a title card. Like, it was the interaction between the Vulture and Damage Control. And then it cut to black and it said 8 years later, and it jumped to our modern Tom Holland. And that's what I'm talking about. Whoever was on that casting that was in charge of continuity messed up and put 8 years later, and they just kept it in the movie. Like, okay, you messed up, acknowledge it, go back and change the motherfucking title card. When every time I see the movie, I don't want to see that mistake there. This is a $1 billion franchise. Change that shit.
I don't know, dude. You're all wrong. That would no. I was mixing up two different things. I thought you were talking about something he said, but
no,
there were people. I'm thinking of when people were saying Tony Stark saw the vision in his head 10 years before.
Oh no.
Yeah, I forgot that they had the title
Ultron shit when he saw like Wanda and messing with his head and
yeah, when he's saying I saw this 10 years ago. I saw this. I'm dying.
Was that a mistake also?
People were pointing it out as a mistake, but like it's another one of those. But it's also more so like, I don't know, he has a fucking tube going in his body for nutrients and stuff because he's dying. So like he's just saying like 10 years ago. Like I've known you for 12 years, but I'm not sitting down and doing the math to see if it was like actually 11 or 13. Like shit.
I tell everybody since birth. Me and Matt came out the same tunnel, bro. We just been in it to win it.
That's
brothers from the same mothers.
That's weird.
So moving on, Storm Collectibles also announced Street Fighter 6's Luke figure. I'm not interested in that. Just give me the classics. Jada Toys. Right?
Oh yeah, dude, that figure. I forgot about that entirely because I'm not super into Street Fighter at all. So I was like, okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Loaded up the website. Oh, that guy. I see it right away.
That guy. What else, man? I know they dropped kind of like a little bunch of teasers and stuff over the holiday. And then we're getting all the charges for it right now, right? Like
with what?
I don't know, man. I'm glad they didn't charge us during like Christmas and stuff, but I'm also like worried because if you look at my Big Bad Toy Store pre-orders, it says Q1 2024, Q1 2024.
I know, and like people in the Mezco groups will always. There are a few people on that seem to have good info about releases and everything, and I'm kind of like, I hope you're wrong. And some of it hasn't charged yet, and I'm like, and it's not really that they're wrong. It's just that things get delayed. Shit happens. I get it. Yeah. Like. I don't know, like that company we were talking about earlier,
Palisades.
And this is one of the reasons that I'm super hesitant to go into production with another country. But like, shit happens. You decide you want to make Aqua Teen Hunger Force figures, and then you go to a middleman who screws you.
Yeah, that's why. I don't know, man. Part of me wants to take Shadow Moses as far as possible, but the other thing is like, do you get outside help? Like bringing in, like I know, like Unparalleled Universe brought in. I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head, but the ex-Toy Biz director, I want to say, to help him do the figure, which I'm sure was a great source of knowledge and a great middleman to work with.
Yeah, that's a different scenario. That I feel like
much different scenario. Yeah. But any pitfall could happen in that situation where Palisades got screwed over by their middleman. But the interesting stuff was I didn't realize that they were so local. I didn't realize they were in
Ellicott. Yeah, dude, as I was reading their wiki page, I was like, oh, this is getting worse and worse, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, Ellicott's pretty close. So I wonder if you look at the names of the business owners, it looked like family owned as well.
It looked like a husband and wife pair.
So I'm wondering, like, how crazy is it if a guy from DC reaches out and says, hey, want to start our own toy line? You know? But I think the thing we have to do is really buckle down and pick a focus.
No.
Because we don't necessarily want to make action figures. We want to be, at least what I'm thinking is like more the accessory guys, like the one-stop shop. We want to do cars, dioramas, props, the whole nine, you know?
No, you have to do it like you're learning a language. Pick up 3 different language kits and do them all at once. Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, especially when you're just starting up. And like this applies to anybody, like anyone from a podcast or Instagram pages listening, like, and they'll most likely agree. Like, you can't spread yourself too thin when you don't have the capital or all the funds to really get something off the ground and running. Because like right now, everything's so damn expensive. Even if you're not buying like wholesale stuff, just resources, equipment, like the Ender 3 V3 KE is amazing.
What do you like about that? Can we talk about that a little bit more? Because I haven't had a chance to play with it. You've got hands-on it. And I know just reading the specs, I was amazed by some of the stuff on there. So I really hope it turned out to be a great printer.
It's really cool. When I did I showed it last week and I have it right here. But when I did the Benchy print, it did it at default print speed and it was so fast. I have it on like a relatively cheap desk that I got on Amazon and I had to hold that desk still. It did this in 16 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Like just over 15 minutes. And it's just like doing this. The whole desk is moving. So I'm like, oh my God. When I printed the chair, which I showed last week,
right,
it did this in an hour and a half.
I think for me it was a 4-hour print.
I was about to say, when you put in that slicer, yours shows you like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It did it in an hour and a half, dude.
That's
I'm
amazing.
really excited to do. I'm working on a personal project right now. And then there's something else that I want to start experimenting with that we talked about earlier. But like the speed of this printer is in itself a revolution compared to how long it takes. Once I got this thing all set up, and it was pretty easy setup. I think the worst part was putting the arms with the actual print on it because I had to get underneath and screw those screws in. But it's really also considerate of wiring, and it basically built into the actual structure itself so that the wire going from your print head goes up into that rail and then tucks in all the way down, and then you plug it in at the bottom because it comes out of the actual arm itself.
Right.
Or that, whatever, that's support.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hollow. Like, so a lot of people.
But I'm trying to. I guess my question to you is like, what makes it able to print at that speed? As somebody who's done those upgrades that you purchased on your printer, so we essentially have the same features. Can I just up my slicer to be as good as yours, or do you think that there's something within there, be it mechanical or firmware based, that might make it the reason it prints faster than other printers?
Do you have the same belts that it has and the same wheels and everything?
I actually upgraded all my wheels and belts to be a less, like a more expensive, less wearable. I want to say like a poly something wheel.
There might be something in the firmware because this thing's interface is much more advanced than the previous Creality. Like it's a touch screen and everything. It's more like a CPU than just this little dial push button. So that already in itself suggests that there's a more complex operating system inside of it.
Reading what I was going to say, what my take would be was I noticed that the bed was fixed, not necessarily fixed, but there's no adjustments for it because it has a trigger at the bottom.
I'm not sure exactly how the bed works because it does auto leveling. I basically do a recalibration before every print that I do, and I could choose to not do that, but I just do it because it does 25 points of bed leveling. So I think that's also part of that internal memory is it's setting up either it knows how to average that out between the different points on the bed, or maybe they're because I don't know how that works honestly. Because it's not like the bed is moving in those individual regions.
From what you've noticed, are there? I know there's like 2 fixed bars on the bottom for the back and forth, but on the top, is there a linear rail or a bar system there too?
There are 2. So there are 2 Z rails,
right?
To help keep that sturdy, and then I think it's ultimately the belt might be a more durable, like a thicker belt, but I think also the wheels at the end for the bed and for that nozzle, I think that it's just better equipment. So I mean, you might be able to do print. You might be able to upscale your print speed, but it might come down to hardware or technology inside of the actual print head itself, like the heater and then the extruder and everything. It's hard to say for sure. Sorry.
Put me in the game, coach.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what I want to show. Don't mind the mess because I'm in the middle of taking a lot of pictures in this piece. Let's see if I can flip this camera. Will let me flip the camera? It won't let me flip the camera. So what I was trying to show was some of the modifications I've done. You can kind of see where my hand's at. I've done 2 lead screws over here. We have updated like cooling system, direct in, hot end. There's extra fans that normally wouldn't come with this. Slimline motor. As you can see, I did linear rails at the bottom, linear rails straight ahead. So the belts are updated right here, right here. Let's see, direct drive. What else did I do? And there are upgraded motherboards on both printers too. So these 2 are heavily modified. This one, as you can see, has like a special carriage on it, which I think I did something similar to this one. So that's what I'm trying to find out. Can I push mine to that kind of limit? Here's the old chair, by the way. There's the little guy sitting there.
I mean, you could probably try it. I don't know how well it'll work. That's the thing. Right. I don't know if your printer will just laugh at you for trying such a thing.
How dare you print fast on me?
Yeah. Are you able to add things to Studio, or does it have to be me?
It has to be you.
Okay.
I'm ready if you're ready.
I'm going to pull up and show you the printer real fast.
Okay.
It's going to be black.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, that's the reason I was interested in that computer, because I spent a lot of time, a lot of money.
What the fuck? I turned the fucking volume all the way down.
Researching how to do all those upgrades.
Shut up. The fuck? No, volume. Fucking slut.
Just turn down the volume, man. Should be good to go. No, but I was saying, I spent a lot of time trying to research how to do those upgrades, like the dual access lead screws, the linear rails, how to modify that on the motherboard, upgrading a motherboard altogether. So I'm wondering if I could hit those speeds up. I have a feeling these fans on the printer by default might be more efficient than the ones I got. Oh, that looks awesome. Look at that.
So, yeah. This is the Jesus Christ. So here's the belt down on the bottom. It has the 2 rails.
Yeah, two circular rails. Oh, and has a linear rail up top.
Yep. And then we have these. The print head itself is much bigger because the extruder's inside of it.
Direct drive, single ribbon.
This is your display screen. It's that much bigger. But yeah, like what I was talking about before is inside of this frame is actually the wire that runs up into this. It's direct feed. And then the magnetic bed already comes with it.
That's so wild, man. I'm happy for it.
It's awesome.
So it's funny because like several years ago when I bought my printer, I spent the same amount of money and then put maybe hundreds of dollars learning how to figure out to upgrade it to where it's at now. And what's cool is now you're able to buy one off the shelf for the price that I paid for the original printer when it came out. So save your money, invest in something like the KE right now, which has all the upgrades you need, hopefully taking away a lot of the headache and a lot of the tinkering that a lot of the early adopters like myself had to experience. If you're getting into 3D printing, seriously, you can hit either of us up and we'll be more than happy to guide you with fixes or whatever you guys need.
More so him. I'm the lazier of the two when it comes to 3D printing. The KE is awesome because it's basically set to go. Like this came out really nicely. The print quality is awesome. And I got lucky when I first opened up my KE, or excuse me, my original Ender 3. My first print was beautiful. Now I'm eventually got to the point where I have the Z offset issues and I need to do different updating in there. But hopefully I'll get that bad boy up and running because I still do like that printer. It's the Creality CR10 that pisses me off a lot.
Yeah. But I would imagine that because that printer is so large and it didn't have what the modern printers have, which are those 2 lead bars holding it for stability, that there's probably some like ridiculous wobble on that shit too.
On the CR10?
Yeah, the CR10. Yeah. Probably a wobble monster.
You ready to share?
Plus it's 1 Z screw. Is that correct for the CR10? Because I don't think they started doing dual leads until like the later versions of the printers. But I'm ready to
this one was from like 2017, so it's an old boy. That reminds me, my payment, almost $2,000 went through for my Gigastorm, for my Orange Storm Giga. Yeah, I'm so excited for that thing.
You print your own apartment. That's awesome.
It's gonna be so. I need to get a table for it because it's like 32 inches by 32 inches. But
sustainable living for everybody.
You ready to share?
Yeah.
All right.
So what we have here is the driving arcade. And we could, as you can see, we're pretty much complete with it. This stands at a little under 7 inches. Should fit in with your current arcade cabinets. I'm very happy with how this came out. I'm going to be honest with you. The 2 hardest aspects of this was probably the steering wheel, just because of the contouring and the shape of it, as well as the seat. Everything else was pretty quick, but keep in mind we've been modeling for years, so it's quick for us. It's pretty cool that we're able to print our own prototypes and see how it goes. But not a lot has changed since the initial showing that I did about a month ago, but there are some significant changes. As you can see, we did the marquee, now a straight plug into the back where I believe it clipped in kind of like our older model. And that just allows for a cleaner print because now you can print it on the back and not have to worry about any angles. Usually I print these marquees on the side anyway for stability and support. The only thing I'm working here is trying to figure out how to support it without overdoing supports, like making it difficult. You want to be able to print it out and pull supports out, within a matter of minutes. You don't want to sit there and try to like finagle this out and all that stuff. So that's kind of the piece that I'm working on. How do I add the proper supports without sacrificing the print, but also enhancing the time to produce the object?
That is one thing. Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
That is one thing I noticed about the Creality software. The slicer does not allow tree supports, which I like.
Okay.
I mean, there might be some way to enable them. I haven't poked around too much, but from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it has tree supports. And I think
how's the slicer all together? I know they're using their own internal slicer now.
Oh, it's I like it more than Creality. It looks like it has more information for me to look at than Creality. And I think that it's just basically just designed with a little more attention and user consideration for the user rather than just putting out something that slices.
Okay. So user friendly, definitely. I like that.
Yeah. Well, user friendly, but also just something that is more intuitive in terms of settings and everything like that. Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Especially if the upgrades aren't substantial enough to change your workflow. So I have not eliminated using Simplify 3D because to me it just makes the most sense. And I've poked around Super Slicer and Prusa Slicer and all these other Slicer 3D, Slice 3D. But the straightforwardness of Simplify 3D to me is hands down the best. And yeah, I'm missing out on tree supports. I might be missing out on ironing. But other than that, those features really don't interest me because I already have a glass finish on one side, which always enables a nice smooth transition. But getting off topic, going back into the arcade, some of the things that I try to implement here are I did a straightforward steering column just because I think straight would hold the best in this situation without how do you say, like putting out some of your other figures because they're too short or too tall.
Yeah.
However, if that does become an issue after I print this prototype and test it out for myself, the idea is that maybe because I do have enough clearance within this hole to add a angled notch that'll help kind of like offset it. So as you turn it, it could either be upwards or point downwards. We'll see how that works out. Something else that I tried that I'm not too sure out, only because I'm not, a well-seasoned engineer. I know enough to be dangerous, but usually I make my clearances a little bit tighter here. I did the ever so slightest less clearance because the clearance that I typically use is for tightness. And I want the thing to stay. This I want to be tight, but I don't want it to be hard to remove. So I enhance the clearance just a little bit more to hopefully be able to rotate the steering wheel column. And the reason for that is this is approximately the whole column is about 1 inch long, and the depth of the hole here is about 3/4 of an inch. So I want you to be able to adjust it forward and backward depending on the character, as well as having this base being able to slide back and forth. Now, which was interesting, and I didn't notice this until I had the chair in this picture, that I probably want to enhance the length out of this, maybe another 1/2 inch for your taller figures. But again, I won't know unless I print this out. And I do plan on testing this with like a NECA and a Figma and then a Marvel Legends, and just to kind of cover all my bases to see how the figure looks and where can it improve at. Right now we have it sitting on about 1 inch riser. The chair itself, I believe, sits about another 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch on the rise, allowing the figure to pretty much sit flush. As you see in the Daredevil and the Vex figures, they sit very comfortably in the bucket seats. I can only imagine the Figma is going to be doing great as well. The NECAs, for the most part, the ones I own are more humanoid or Ninja Turtles. So again, they should fit just as well. I suppose you would be able to get the Predator to sit and fit in this chair, and that's my hope for this arcade cabinet, to include figures all across the spectrum.
If they can actually sit.
If they can actually sit. And for the most part, I think NECA does a good job of at least making sure the legs can go 90 degrees, which is basically the prerequisite that you'll need here. The other thing that we are tossing around is maybe doing a double hole on this base to allow the chair to give you that extra 1/4 inch maybe of play back and forth, just in case the sliding back and forth isn't enough. Again, when I print this prototype base out, it will not have the peg in there, so I could be able to kind of maneuver it myself to see will it benefit from that extra movement or not. The steering wheel we tried to keep kind of uniform. I was checking out different arcade cabinets such as Mario Kart, I believe it's 8DX, and then like an old school Cruis'n USA. And a lot of them don't have the buttons on the steering wheel. So I tried to keep it as simple as possible. Some other things that we might do, depending on the arcade, is we'll be able to do the glue-on buttons like we do for your arcade cabinets now. So if the game particularly had a button on the left or the right side, it'll still be true to form when it comes to do that. The cool thing about how we designed it is the column is last, so it should make our decals very easy to use, because I'm always worried about how messy or sloppy this might look. And actually, that might actually help some of the tolerance there. So if we need to poke a hole in the middle and tuck in some of that sticker, it should add to the tolerance of the column fitting in there. Essentially, we went basic with your gas pedal, brake pedal, and manual transmission. The other thing I'm not sure if we're going to be able to include, and I think the pedal's there more for show, is how to adapt a manual transmission for the most part. If I look at other cabinets, which I haven't seen too much of, looks like they're getting away from using the manual transmission lately, but I like to, I don't know if you've seen our other arcade cabinets, but we like to basically do like a one size fits all. It's more for the photography aspect and having the figure or the piece in your collection that you grew up with, rather than aiming for authenticity 100%. Even though we will try to recreate or redo original artwork, the cabinet itself, the shape might not be the same, but we try to stay as close to a uniform across the board for the most part. Other than that, I think our prototypes have been going pretty well. I'm really excited to see how this looks. I'm going to print both of these in a PLA, which is a faster, cleaner turnaround for these. And if that ends up working out the way that I hope, then we will be printing the steering wheel and the seat in resin for a nice, cleaner look in the end. So that way, most of your faces will be on a glass finish with your decals, just as we do our normal arcades. And then the more detailed pieces will be in a nice, durable resin. I even made sure that the steering wheel is 3/16 of an inch, which is, of course, a 16th bigger than 1/8. 1/8 and below tends to have some durability issues. The extra 16th makes all the difference, I promise you. So the magnet here, and you can kind of see the separation of this too right here. This is made big enough for a magnet to fit in the back, and then a magnet to fit in the column as well. So you'll be able to attach the steering wheel to your character and adjust his arms where you picture them, and then adjust the column how far in and out where you want them before the magnet connects. And then you'll have your, hopefully feet in place for where you expect your character to fit. Overall, a lot of ideas and planning ahead has gone into this to kind of figure out where this is going to go. Even our lighting system is going to be a little bit cleaner. Of course, the clearance of this is accounted for. I'll be able to feed the USB cable through the back. And once this is attached, we could run the lighting up and down this area, which is pretty awesome. So you still should get that light that shines. If you've been following on us on Instagram, you know that through the initial test run, this divot was too high and didn't allow the screen to sit the way it should without flopping out. We added ever so slightly a 1/16 to the depth, which was just enough to hold the screen in place. Again, we plan on making these swappable screens, so you'll have your title screen there and maybe another screen of gameplay, since there really isn't a character select on these kind of games. We might do something different for like Mario Brothers, since that's a very character involved racing game. But other than that, I could just see it being gameplay and title screen. But please, any other questions, feedback, anything else I'm not thinking of, please be sure to comment below. We love to hear any ideas that you folks may have with anything. If you're familiar with our arcades and within that realm of what we post on a regular basis, of course, try to keep that in mind. Any of these extraordinary options, Matt, I don't know if you saw on one of the Rezion prints, somebody was asking us to print motherboards within a different Rezion resin. And I said, hey, buddy, thank you for commenting. Unfortunately, yeah. If you read the comment section for the Rezion K Plus that I posted, I said, hey, buddy, that's something that we really don't do, but I do strongly suggest checking out Rezion's products. They do seem fantastic from what the other reviewers or folks on here are saying. So they might have more of the content that you're looking for.
They wanted to print a motherboard?
More structural engineering and everyday use items. And that's okay. That's not really our channel.
More so, I wasn't sure if you meant like a prop motherboard or if you meant like one that they could actually use.
So I didn't ask that question, but the way it sounded to me was asking if we could print stuff in different applications outside of our scope. I mean, maybe you could take a look at that just to try to see maybe a different interpretation of it.
I mean, I love the idea of applying 3D printers to practical use. Practical prints are awesome, but I don't know if I would trust a 3D printer to print computer parts. Yeah. I know one time on a Facebook group, someone was asking if someone could print like a little hook because they just needed something to hold like the equivalent of a tent hook that would go over the arm support. So I modeled one up and I mailed him the STL file for him to 3D print, and he said it worked out.
Oh, so nice!
I felt really cool for that. But yeah, for something like that, I wouldn't trust the threshold of the heat and everything. Yeah, no, that's it.
Well, that's the cool thing about. I don't know if I'm butchering their name or not. I was trying to watch a couple of their videos to see if they would say their name in the videos, but they don't. Maybe I'm watching the wrong video, but Rezion does seem like they go above and beyond in their different applications for their resin.
Is it Rezion or is it Rezi One?
That's the thing. I don't know. I think
it's Rezi One.
You're probably right. And I'll wait for somebody to correct me, please.
We could do like the movies do and say it each way, so we're both right or wrong.
Yeah. But like I said, so far I'm very happy with the K Plus. We've used it in a joint. I don't plan on using it for this because I don't think it requires that level of hardness.
No.
Yeah, and it is a premium resin. As if you've seen my last videos, this is about a $70 bottle of resin, whereas typically your resins are $20.
Yeah, like you're jumping the price of this thing up $30.
Yeah. What else I was going to say? I've seen their other applications for a clear resin. I mean, they look like lens crystal clear glass.
Yeah, I've seen those. I need to get a setup for my resin printers because I would love to print in clear resin.
Yeah.
I just don't. They're just such a mess.
I actually might be in the market for another resin printer. I think I told you recently my Frozen Sonic Minis.
Oh yeah.
Mono screen died, and I could replace it I could buy the part for $150 and then spend the time looking up YouTube videos to learn how to replace it. Or I could spend $250, an additional $100, and get a brand new Mars 4, which is their smallest resin printer. I think I'd rather go Elegoo just because I've had Anycubic was my first printer.
Yeah, that's my first resin printer was that one that you gave me.
I learned how to change a LCD screen on that too, which is pretty cool. But those screens are pricey, man.
Yeah.
Those screens are pricey. I know on a bigger printer like the Mars, the Saturn II, I could see spending the $150, which I doubt the screen costs that much, to replace the screen because it's a $400 or $500 printer.
Yeah, like I think I have the Saturn too. It's still in the box since I moved, but yeah.
The Saturn II is awesome, man. I've had zero issues with it since I bought it. It's amazing. And Elegoo has the right idea by making a single point of tightening. And so when I'm done with the print, I just pull it off, I chisel them, and I put the damn thing back on. Whereas other ones, it feels like you have to keep on tightening these 4 screws on the side. And they might have gotten away with that through the years, but I think I'd rather go with the Mars 4 at this point.
I didn't know you also had the Saturn too.
Yeah. I think I bought that around the same time you bought yours.
Nice.
Or maybe after. I believe it was a couple months after you bought yours.
Okay.
They had been on sale and you and I were talking about it.
Yeah, I think I got mine on sale. I mean,
almost done, buddy. Almost done. Give me 5 more minutes of your time, I promise. The other thing that Matt and I have been talking about, and this is just a shot in the dark, we are talking about possibly adding or improving our quality that we have for our decals. So we want to expand on the idea of possibly doing better vinyl graphics, or maybe our own stickers down the line, posters.
You want to pull that up?
Yeah, shirt decals and the like. So there is growth that we're looking at in the future. I think that personally, this would save time because this is a printer and a cutter in one. So I could do your arcade decals, and seeing as the upcoming driving arcade has a curve in it, that's really hard for the human hand, for at least for me to do. I can do straightaways all day. I can take an X-Acto, get you the straightest line possible. And I know a lot of you have been very happy with arcades, so thank you. But those curved lines are very, very difficult. And if I can get software to alleviate that from me, as well as cutting down time, improving quality, cutting costs, eventually replacing my sticker vendor by doing our own in-house stickers, taking away, because we want to do more conventions in the future, taking away the need to buy Shadow Moses shirts from another company and just do everything in-house and customize. I think it'd be great. Doing this will eventually give us a chance to do other mediums. We could do specials. We could do a full hologram arcade as like a contestant winner, or a special edition, which I'm really excited about. When the new Spider-Man movie came out, we did a limited run of 3 arcades of a Miles Morales arcade. Could you imagine if those whites were instead holograms popping out through the artwork that we did? I think the applications are limitless, but pretty excited to potentially add this model or the newer model that they announced, but that's double the price for the same features. I think the only thing you're getting is speed and a smaller footprint. So I'm still kind of on the fence on which route I should take. But other than that, I have nothing else to add. Matt, if you feel like closing out, please let me know.
Well, I know that we talked about this, and then when I was looking more into that, I was actually like wondering, like, why not just go with a Cricut? And I pulled up a Reddit, and I was looking through a Reddit forum, and like it's just people shitting on Cricut because the software sucks. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't used mine. I didn't buy a fancy one, but they were talking about the software not being great, and yeah, I need to look into it more because I know people have the Cricut. I call it a Cricut, people that have the cry cut and they love it. So I don't know. I guess it depends on the application and then the material, because the cry cut has there are 12 different versions of them. Like there's the Maker 3, there's the Maker, there's the light and everything. I think I have a Air or something. It's like iPad variations. They're just all these different versions. But yeah, that's something. Like I bought that cry cut a while ago and just haven't really taken the time to sit down and mess with it, because that is something that I have an interest in messing around with myself. So that might be something that we explore down the road or in the not too distant future on what other offerings we can do. I know that there are some just general t-shirt ideas I have that would be fun to produce.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm thinking more like staff based, like when we go to conventions, we have our, logo standing.
Oh yeah, no, stuff like that's definitely cool. I meant for personal use, but that's another area where we look at, are we losing focus on what we do?
Right.
Right. It's ironic that the last thing you break up is this new approach that we have. And in all reality, yes, the applications for what with the arcades and everything like that, yes, they're absolutely there. But throwing in some of the other stuff, sounds like we might be spreading ourselves a little bit, but
maybe. I think I'm thinking more like eliminating the middleman from the equation. So, I hate paying Sticker Mule. Well, I don't hate paying Sticker Mule. They actually charge pretty good prices, but eliminating them from stickers and shit. So.
Yeah, well, a lot of this economy is service based and subscription anymore, and a lot of it we can do ourselves.
Exactly.
And if there ends up being a cost benefit to it, we can absolutely do it ourselves. So yeah, no, I have no issue in looking into things and playing around with different ideas, and it's just really to look at what overall we get with something like that, and that's something that other creators in the community need to be in mind of as well. And doubtlessly people that have been doing this for longer than us have already had that conversation internally with something. Do I want to go down this road, or is that going to really divert me and make me lose focus on the areas I need to concentrate? And that's just part of this hustle. And it is. So, and then just being a creator in general is trying to stay true and stay focused on what your original goal was without being diverted to all these other possibilities. So,
yeah, I was briefly talking to our mutual friend. I found out that Goldie does stickers on the side. And
okay.
She was telling me that they have a Cricut printer.
Yeah.
Cutter. But for the application that I want to use it, I want to have we do made to order, so it'll be different designs. And when I was researching it a couple years ago, you needed to print a identifier that the machine will recognize to be able to calibrate the cut correctly. And if I do that, I lose out on the margins that I need to be able to print X amount of items per page, which helped me cut down on costs. So it would actually increase costs if I had to use the Cricut to put those identifiers on there. However, they also have like a mat that you have to use, and those go bad over time. This printer eliminates the mat process. You just feed in the paper manually.
Yeah.
Everything's done through software. So once it prints, it automatically remembers where it did the prints at and cuts around those. And not only that, it's several different cuts. So you could do what's called a kiss cut or a perf cut or a decal cut where it's just around the edges. And that way you could actually do your own stickers, your own shirts, your own decals. And this really will cut down time, cut down costs. Not initially, but over the course of some time, especially if we choose to branch out in those different avenues, maybe helping out the community by doing stickers for our compatriots. That might be something we could offer down the line, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But with that, I'm all set. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna go die a little bit. I'm Matt from Shadow Moses. What?
So I hope you feel better, man.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what the hell happened. I was fine yesterday, but I was outside in the rain. I went to the store, and then I went to the leasing office to grab my package, and then I was drinking Crown Royal and Coke yesterday.
Oh wow!
So I don't know. What?
So my man, this is the first time I hear you drinking by yourself. That's awesome.
I was working on something else with a friend over Discord. But yeah. I'm Matt from Shadow Moses, producer, co-designer.
Pete, Pete, I am. If you want to hear more of our thoughts, tune in every Sunday right here on YouTube, 8 p.m. We go live. Sometimes I'm not there just because we have other family obligations, but one of us will always be here to do some lives. Knock on wood. Head to shadowmoses112.com to add our accessories to your collection. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can see up to date everything that we're working on. We go into it further every Sunday night. So if you want to stay up to date on when you can get your hands on the next new driving arcade, just follow us on all our media. We don't waste your time. We try to show you everything that we're working on in real time. But that's all I got, man. You guys have a good night. Happy New Year. Keep your head focused. Stop gatekeeping. Let everybody into the community with open arms, right? If we could share these things that make us happy with other people, then why not? Be able to talk about it with more people. Fantastic to be able to share these ideas and figures with everybody. Especially as, man, it doesn't matter how many followers you got. It doesn't matter how big your audience is, big or small. Just stop shitting on each other, man. They're toys. And I get it. We're older guys. They make us happy, but don't gatekeep. Don't be a dick about it. Just realize for what it is and just enjoy it with each other, man. That's it. Peace, love, and happiness.
Bye.
Bye.